Graves that they're not talking this list, 215 souls, and there's still unidentified people on this list. Imagine the 674 and the additional bodies that have been added to the graves that they're not talking about.
Oh, you're right about that. So, Miss Priscilla Williams-Teal, what made you run for office? Got the election next Tuesday.
To make a difference.
To make a difference.
To make a difference.
Like
it's about economic justice. It's about healthcare, and it's about education. And I really and truly want to hit on the target of education, because teacher needs advocates, just like the parents have advocates within the school system. Teachers need advocates because they too are stressed out and held accountable to a different standard. So without the proper advocacy for teachers, we need to bring that to attention.
Yes, ma'am. You're right about that. Right about that. They just shut down the bill to give teachers raise yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, in the Capitol, the state Capitol.
I don't see why, when $3.3 billion have been added to the education department here in Mississippi alone. $3.3 billion have been included. That's the reason why they was fighting so hard for school choice, to get all this charter and private funding. But it didn't work. So you ask yourself, where is this money going if it's not going to teacher pay raises? Or teachers here in the state are able to be paid every 2 weeks instead of once a month. It makes no sense when you have 4 counties where teachers are being paid every 2 weeks, but the majority, especially the JPS, we should be paid every 2 weeks. And along with many other counties that wish that they were paid every 2 weeks. It makes no sense for a teacher to have an additional job, which we have to get. We have to seek other employment, because once a month is not going to cut it for most of us.
Wow, yeah. You're right. You're right about that. Wow. You got a lot of people saying you got their vote. Go vote for Miss Priscilla Williams-Teal March the 10th, y'all. March the 10th, Tuesday. She's running for U.S. Senator.
And then I'm going to cut away before we get to the graves, but I want you all to realize yesterday, out of 328 people voted to not release the sexual misconduct with congressional Congress. Think about how deep that is. If you have 65 members choose not to release the paperwork on sexual misconduct in Congress, that's a problem. And Michael Guest, being our representative here, voted not to release it as well. So that's something to think about. Ladies, gentlemen, why would you not release within Congress sexual misconduct? And you voted, 365 people voted not to release it versus 65. That's deep. That's deep. It's time for you all to stand. It's time for you all not to be afraid. It's time for you all to put people in office that's going to hold people accountable and expose what's going on.
Yes, ma'am. You sure right about that. You sure right about that. Oh, right about that. Corruption at its best. You're right, Miss Cheryl Stahl. Corruption at its best.